definitely the time to make some changes. We have an opportunity here to create a new paradigm, a new domain of knowing. It just takes leadership. It takes foresight. It takes, it's going to take the ability for you to communicate to your friends and your family when everything really, really starts to fall apart. And we're beginning to see it now. The world's global economy is having a lot of ripples, a lot of effects, a lot of changes. Here in the United States, we will be the first, as usual, to experience a lot of that stuff. Okay, but you're going to be the leaders. You're going to be the ones that are going to stand there in your communities and say, look, this is what's been going on, this is what it is, and this is what we have to do. It's no accident that you are who you are. Okay, we've all volunteered for this. So what am I talking about? The idea of human rights, the idea of a Bill of Rights, individual liberties, guaranteed rights of a people, how to live and how to be treated. That has not existed on our planet forever. Okay? But we created that. We created the idea of freedom. We created the idea of space travel. We created the idea of free energy. Now, yes, a lot of that has also come from the outside. But the reality is, the reason it's coming from the outside is because we pulled it here. Us. Okay, as a collective consciousness. We pulled all that to us. Your planet and your race destroys itself in ignorance. The goal is to recover the genuine human beings lost deep within yourselves, and try to always be at one with yourself. I'm going to talk about consciousness. The most necessary action for all of your Terran races who are aware is to do what you are capable of to illuminate your degenerated societies. Consciousness is your scale. It always provides balance, which does not ever fail. It speaks to those who listen and tells them what to do and what not to do. Not to one or all beings who choose to be evolved. The administrators of your government are responsible for professional order, but not your moral codes of order. The key to your happiness, Terrans, is in the hands of your own consciousness. Pathically said, Alex, the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry, lifetime after lifetime. And that was a real aha moment, okay? And it was an aha moment because we make decisions like that without ever thinking about them, really. You know, somebody calls us on the phone, hey, I really need to talk to you, I have a situation, and you're like, you know, I've had a crappy day, I can't be bothered with it. And you just don't call them back. Or the kids want to do something, you know, and you know they really want to do it, and you're just too tired and you say, no, we're not going to do it. And the decision isn't that you could do it, the decision is that you chose not to do it. And maybe those aren't the best examples, but we all have made choices to withhold love. From partners, from family, from ourselves. We've all made those decisions. And those are tough. Those are really, really tough to look at. You know, we've all been there. And being consciously aware of not choosing to withhold love is an amazing feat. And it is not an easy one either. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't remind myself of that. I mean, that was an aha moment that's with me every day now. Doesn't always mean that, I always make the best choices or the right choices. That we have not shown our qualities as a race on this planet through our history. But I also know that when the chips are down, that most people will stand up and they will do the right thing. Understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, that has haunted me ever since. And that one little thing takes you completely time. You begin to think, well, geez, what would it look like not to have a currency? Advanced civilizations, all their needs are taken care of. All of their standard day-to-day life needs are met by the government. No strings attached. And then you donate your time and your expertise and your skills to do something you want that benefits the whole. So it's very simple steps. And again, individually, this doesn't necessarily, this has to be a grassroots. And all it takes is a focus, a turn of our focus away from the drama and the crap that they want us to focus on the news and CNN, etc., and start thinking about, what is it that I want? What information do I want to know? What do I want to hear? Okay, what information do I want to hear on the news? What kind of neighborhood do I want to live in? Okay, what do I want to talk to my friends about? What's really important to me? And ladies and gentlemen, back in 1993, I was telling everybody to throw their televisions away. I really was. I told you so. Okay? I mean, we have one, and we just watch movies, and we choose which movies we want. I do have rabbit ears so that I can watch the election to find out who's going to screw us for the next 4 years. Okay? And that's roughly it. And the Super Bowl. But now I can get that online, so now I don't even have to plug in the rabbit ears. So, you guys know this stuff. You know this stuff. You just have to want it. You just have to want it. You got to want it so bad that you're willing to just do it and say, enough is enough. You do that with your kids. You do that with your neighbors. You do that with your bosses. Now you got to do it about your life. What is it that you really want? Get some clear, distinct ideas about what it is you really want. Because the system we have now is crumbling. And it's going to continue to crumble. All the illusion in the world is not going to keep it standing because it's run its course. It's done. So we have to create something else. And we have to, because if we don't, the powers that be will create it for us. And I guarantee you, you will not be free. You won't be free. You won't like it at all. You won't. It's a given, absolute given. Because it's all about them. It's not about you. And as Spock once said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Collapse on itself because it's no good. It cannot stand on its own. And the minute we turn our focus away from them and they can't feed off our fear, it will collapse in a heartbeat. Because where focus goes, energy flows. Okay? As long as they keep you looking at it, they are using the energy of your soul, of your spirit, to feed this monstrosity. It's time to just ignore them. Turn your focus away and let's create what we really, really want. But we have to decide what that is. Let's talk about religions for a moment. the pyramidal structure of our governments primarily have come out of ancient Rome. And Rome was essentially controlled by 13 families. Okay? Those 13 families still exist today. Many of the world's religions, though they've had a tremendous amount of value and have brought an enormous amount of comfort to many people in our history and in our present day, they focus on shame, guilt, sin, and control. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the trap. Okay? They don't focus on self-responsibility. They don't focus on life or respect. They, in fact, create more division than we have ever known. Now, did they start out that way? With the exception of the Roman Catholic Church? I'm just going to be blunt about it. No. But the powers that be are masters of infiltrating movements. And what they do, and I'll give you the best example I can give you, is that of a charitable foundation. A foundation is created using the power of the people and the monies, the resources of the people, to do something that is of a benefit to humanity. As it's moving and it begins to gain power, and it starts to spread and shift consciousness, awareness, the powers that be will walk in and say, hey, we really believe in what you're doing, and we're going to give you a $25 million grant to help you continue to do your work. But we want to put one of our members on the board just to make sure that the money is spent wisely. And then they do it again, and now you have a second board member. And now you have a third board member. And before you know it, that movement, that foundation, instead of going up and creating more consciousness, more awareness, is now heading the other way. Okay? And now they also control the wealth of that foundation.